Hey everybody, good to see you again. I wanted to share the story of Satyakama today. This is a story from the Chandogya Upanishad. Satyakama goes on to become one of the great sages of the Upanishads in the Vedantic tradition. But this is the story from the very beginning of his development as a sage. And it's a story about the power of simple wonder and faith and earnestness in contemplation, the power to create a great saint out of any of us. So the story goes like this. Satyakama desired to become a student of sacred knowledge. And so he asked his mother, what is my lineage? What is my family background? Because he's going to need this to convince the teacher to take him. And his mother says, well, I don't actually know what your family background is. I don't know your lineage. When I had you, I was working as a maidservant and I was working in many places, and I didn't get to find out your background. So my name is Jabala. Your name is Satyakama. So you can call yourself Satyakama Jabala. And so Satyakama goes off to the guru, Gautama, and he says to him, I wish to be a student of sacred knowledge. And Gautama says to him, well, what is your family lineage? And he says, well, my mother told me that when she had me, she worked as a maidservant in many different places, and she didn't have a chance to find out what my lineage is. But my name is Satyakama, and her name is Jabala, so I'm Satyakama Jabala. And anyways, the guru stops for a minute, and he says, only a true Brahmin could answer with such honesty. I will take you as a student of sacred knowledge. Let's do the initiation. So he is initiated, and his first task is the guru says to him, here are 400 weak, underfed cows. Take them away and take care of them for me. And Satyakama says, yes, sir, I certainly will. I won't come back until there are 1,000 cows. And so he goes off and he takes care of the cows for some time. And then one day a bull comes to him, and the bull says, Satyakama. And Satyakama says, yes, revered sir. And he says, we have become 1,000. It's time to return us back to the place of the guru. But before we go, I want to tell you 1 foot of Brahman. Yes, revered sir, please tell me, what is this 1 foot of Brahman? And so the bull says, east is 1 quarter, west and south and north. This four-quartered foot of Brahman is known as the shining. And one who meditates upon Brahman as the shining becomes shining himself. And becoming shining himself, he attains shining worlds. And so tomorrow, the fire will tell you 1 foot of Brahman. And so the next morning, Satyakama goes on and he feeds the cows, and then he pens them up, and then he lays a fire and sits to the west of it, facing east. And the fire speaks to him and says, Satyakama. And Satyakama says to the fire, revered sir. And the fire says, I'm here to teach you 1 foot of Brahman. Yes, revered sir, I wish to know. And so fire says, 1 foot is made up of 4 quarters. 1 quarter is the earth, 1 quarter is the atmosphere, 1 quarter is the sky, and 1 quarter is the ocean. And this 4-quartered foot of Brahman is known as the endless. And when one contemplates upon Brahman as the endless, one becomes endless, and becoming endless, one achieves endless worlds. And tomorrow, the swan will tell you 1 more foot of Brahman. So the next day, Satyakama goes off and he takes care of the cows and he pens them up at the end of the day. He sets a fire, sits to the west, facing east, and the swan approaches him. Satyakama says, revered sir. And The swan says, Satyakama, I am here to teach you 1 foot of Brahman. Yes, revered sir, I'm listening. And so the swan says, 1/4 of the foot is fire, 1 is sun, 1 is moon, and 1 is lightning. And this 4/4 foot of Brahman is known as the luminous. And when one meditates upon Brahman as the luminous, one becomes luminous. And becoming luminous, one attains luminous worlds. And tomorrow, the diver bird, the cormorant, will come to teach you 1 more foot of Brahman. And so the next morning, Satyakama takes the cows out, he feeds them, he pens them up at the end of the day. He sits by his fire and begins to contemplate again. And the diver bird comes down and flies down to him. Satyakama says, Revered sir. And the diver bird says to him, I am here to teach you 1 more foot of Brahman. The foot, 1/4 of the foot is breath, 1/4 is eye, 1/4 is ear, and 1/4 is mind. And this 4/4 foot of Brahman is known as possessing support. And when one looks upon Brahman, contemplates Brahman as giving support, one possesses support. And possessing support, one attains worlds full of support. And so from there, Satyakama heads on back to the Guru's house. And when he arrives, Gautama looks at him and says, You are shining like someone who knows Brahman. Who taught you? And Satyakama says, Other than men have taught me, but I wish to hear from you as well. I will see you soon. I hope you are all doing well on this beautiful May day. Take care.